Would think, but this is Mark Sports for Democracycle, interview number 7. We're here in Rockland, Ontario, which is about 40 kilometers east of Ottawa. I have two young gents here who have very interesting stories in terms of experiences of discrimination. So first of all, your name is?
I'm Jesse.
Jesse?
Nice to meet you, everyone.
And I'm Omar.
Omar?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for sharing.
Of course.
Okay, so let's start on with Omar. You had a tale, a hair-raising tale about you're a soccer player.
Yeah.
And tell me a bit about some of the experiences you've had that were quite negative.
For sure. Overall, just as a general, you know, being in Canada since 2012, immigrating from Egypt, having lived in a country like Saudi Arabia for a while, overall, Canada is such a blessing, right? But it goes without saying that at the end of the day, some people might have different views about different races and different ethnicities. That's very, very apparent in smaller towns. And I feel like that's due to a lack of education or a lack of exposure to what happens on the other side of the world. But, you know, for an instance, playing soccer as a 15-year-old kid, you don't expect to get heckled by the parents on the sidelines, calling your other team members names like, you know, racial slurs, right? And having to end the game early to just leave the town because your coach
you
is
said,
scared
and
for
you
your
were
safety.
very open about it. You said that at one point, like some parents actually called you guys.
At a certain point, we have a lot of black people and Arabs on the team, and the parents would literally call them monkeys on the sideline, trying to heckle them, which is atrocious for sure. It's pretty disgusting. You know, other small instances. You know, when I was in high school, I'd wear this. You know, this scarf that a lot of Palestinians wore.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people watching this would probably know what I'm talking about. I'd wear it around my neck.
What's
in
it
the
called?
winter.
Do you remember the name?
In Arabic, it's called a shal.
Okay.
Where you put it over your head.
Yeah.
That's what Arabs wear with the long dress. I'd wear it around my neck, and every once in a while on the OC Transpo on the bus, I'd have someone who, you know, would look at me and be like, "Oh, you're a fucking terrorist."
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'd actually kind of laugh.
Yeah, and they would say, like, they just come out right out loud.
Come out very smoothly. And
Wow.
Yeah. At a certain point, it's like I said, you know, if you approach it the right way, you just kind of turn the other cheek and just laugh about it. It makes you feel better. But of course, a lot of people need to be educated about what's right and what's wrong and what can be said and what can't be said, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, if you have your differences, just keep it to yourself and let people live. You know,
Okay.
It's all about it.
That's good. Thank you, Omar. And how about yourself?
Yeah. So, for myself, I grew up in Canada, from British Columbia, Vancouver. My parents were both First Nations. So growing up in elementary school, even middle school, they had, you know, for us First Nations kids, we had our own separate room for to go to have, you know, all these teachers help us with math or whatever we're struggling with, and I was always ashamed to go there because I was bullied for being Aboriginal. I was pushed in the lockers and stuff. I was called retarded. You know, this kid special. Why isn't he white? You know, there's a reason why there was such thing as residential schools because you know they look different, and you know they're now they're privileged. You know, so yeah, it was always tough growing up, and it took me a while to kind of be proud of who I was. Aboriginal, being Aboriginal, it took me a bit to actually, you know, even when I was going on random dates when I was a couple of years ago, I'd always be ashamed to say I was First Nations, Métis, but now obviously not anymore, right? I'm 28, but it scarred me. It kind of scarred me growing up.
Yeah, no,
it was always with me.
It's traumatic to be
traumatic,
treated that way.
I always thought,
whatever.
It. You know, and but these kids were so mean, and yeah.
As a kid, the easiest thing for you to do when you experience some sort of racial, you know, some sort of racism is to just kind of toughen up and fight back. So people look at you and they're like, hey, well, you're just proving to us what we thought you were.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate.
So it's kind of a trap, right? So that's what I mean by, if you ever experience something like that, you just have to kind of take the higher road and show them that you're actually a good person. Because a lot of kids, including myself, would just toughen up and fight back. So
yeah, me too. I was always getting in trouble for fighting and stuff.
Okay.
But you know, it was
Well, would you say the thing that, because you were saying now that you're a little bit older,
a
little bit more experienced,
yeah,
have things improved for you?
a lot.
yeah.
Okay. In what sense?
in a sense where people that I interact with now are a little bit more mature. So this happens on a childish level when people are in high school, right? And again, that's due to a lack of education, that they have no idea what's going on the other side of the world.
But also from they're still carrying their parents' attitudes is something you mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now people start to mature.
Now
get
you can
their
also
own
have a voice
worldview.
for yourself, where you get to educate and speak up to someone who's
No,
being
good for you.
racist towards you or towards
Yeah.
other,
All right.
in a way where it's like, hey, listen, this is wrong for these reasons, and if you choose to understand and believe it, then that's awesome. But if you choose not to, then I did my part by kind of explaining that to you at least, you know.
Totally, yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think racism is always going to be there. It's just, yeah. For me, it was, as a kid, I dealt with it hard when I was just getting bullied and stuff. Nowadays, I don't really, people don't comment on my ethnicity or anything. Like Omar said, growing up, who we interact with, people are more mature. But yeah.
And overall, Canada's a good place to live.
Yeah.
Canada's an amazing place to live. Such a beautiful
Especially,
country.
yeah, when you consider the alternatives.
Yeah, it could always be worse, right?
Could always be worse, but this is good. Hey, guys, thank you so much. I know that you guys are working to help Plan International,
Yeah,
which,
I am a girl.
which helps the I Am a Girl campaign, which helps to...
We fight for women's rights and we protect little girls all around the world in over 170 countries. Just, breaking the barriers and making sure that equality looks the same everywhere. For sure, girls get the same opportunities, and, they get to go to school, they get to learn, provide them with everything they need, female hygiene products, just simple stuff, even birth certificates, right? To
All
try to
right.
fight child trafficking, which is a huge, huge problem.
Okay.
Much more as well.
Well, it's a beautiful endeavor. Good luck to both of you, and thank you so much for sharing your views.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.